Hey, it's Anthony Meisner with Land Title Kim to bring your greater Metro Denver market update for the month. Let's dive right into this. I think the one thing that we really wanted to look at attached single family wise is, we've had this stability in the marketplace, even with rising inventory. Prices are still trending up just a little bit. We're up, 2.3% in the average and the median. Those are good numbers, especially in a market that seems to be challenging. But with that also comes challenges in the other part of the market. The attached market is struggling, right? Tale of two markets here across Denver Metro. Detached single family stability, attached single family, those condo townhouses. We're seeing prices start to sag a little bit. We're down about 6% from this time last year in the average, only 1.9% in the median, which is a good sign, but we are below the last 3 years. And as inventory rises, we're going to see more downward pressure in this marketplace. The price per square foot tells us a lot of the same story. It tells us 6% drop or 6.6% drop in the attached single family home market. So those condos and townhouses are really struggling. They're below the 2021 numbers. And so if you have people buying or selling, they really just need to understand what they're getting into in that marketplace. Now, the single family home, we're down about 1%. It's kind of where we've been trending all year so far. It's very similar to what we saw last year with that elevated level of inventory. We really can't expect too much else. So that's not so bad, right? We are very stable there. I think that's nothing to worry about. Now, if you look at the supply of inventory, this is what's causing all of that to happen, right? We look at our active units on the marketplace, basically 13,000 units on the market, way more than we had any time last year. It's 42% rise from this time a year ago. So lots of inventory. Well, how does that happen? It happens through new listings coming on the market right now at a way elevated pace. We almost had 7,000 new homes come on the market last month in May. It was one of the largest months we've had basically since the pandemic times. 2021, 2022, we outpaced those in a May, but the June was even higher. It'd be interesting to see if we trend up still with more new listings coming to market, but we are at a very high level of appetite from sellers. So it's very clear to see that. That's what's causing more inventory into the market. So keep that 7,000 number in your mind. 7,000 new listings in a month. We're putting only 4,300 under contract, which actually is 8.6% above where we were a year ago. So we do have a bigger buyer appetite than we've had in the past. But as you can see, it's nowhere near what we had during the pandemic times when we were seeing all those listings come to market. So what that's going to do is create that huge void. Almost 3,000 homes a month, more coming on the market than we have buyer appetite for. What does that do? It creates month supply of inventory rise, 3.7 months. That's 37% above where we were this time last year, way more than we saw at the peak last year. So higher levels of inventory are going to create a better environment for buyers to go out there and find a deal. And that's what's putting so much pressure in that attached market. So you can really see how this is all kind of coming together. Now, what does it feel like as a buyer or seller out there? The interesting part is we're quickly approaching the fastest part of the market. Under contracts are going in, 33 days, about a month under contract, a little bit more by about a week than it was this time last year, but really not terrible, right? So just be mindful of the fact that over the next few months, you're going to start to see that rise again, just in our typical seasonality that we normally experience. The percentage close price to list price is about 0.5% below where it was this time last year. So buyers are able to negotiate a little bit harder. And remember, this does not include concessions or price drops. So buyers are getting a little bit more of a deal than they were this time last year. The market is softening a little bit because so much more inventory is coming on the market. Now, if you're a seller and you really need to know what's going on, your showings per listing is how many showings in a month are taking place. And on average right now, we're only experiencing about 5 showings per listing. So one a week or so, right? And when you see that, how long is it going to take you to get enough showings to really go under contract? Well, we're looking right around 13. It's what we've experienced before. It's really similar to last year, last month, very similar as well. So if you can drive 13 showings, chances are you should be able to find a buyer, right? And I think that's kind of the takeaway from showing traffic. This is the most preliminary information too. So if you were worried about, buyers drying up because of tariffs or something, you really can see that it's very consistent, and it seems like we're much more tied to interest rates than anything else. And buyers are being consistent out there, right? So it's nice to see that in the marketplace. It's nice to show the data that. But if you have any questions, concerns, don't feel free to reach out for other information. Here's all of the other important stuff if you need, disclaimers and all that. I'm Anthony at Land Title. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you next time. Have a good one.